So I just finished having a conversation with a friend about a video that has been trending, or that trended a couple of weeks ago, about someone that talked about a property that was acquired for about 7 million in 1993, and that same property being sold now for over 3.7 billion in 2025. Before you start saying how many of us could afford the property of that amount at that time, the what I'm trying to bring out here is the opportunity that real estate actually provides. Now, you may not have been able to afford such property, you may not have been able to put down the the amount to acquire that kind of property at that time. But if you really dig deep, you would discover that there were actually opportunities you would have been able to key into with your available resources within your environment, but you chose to look down on it and say, come on, there's no point, it's too, I would rather just channel my money into something else. Now, say depending on your age group, and some of us, we saw the likes of Dangote refinery when it started, the how much property were being sold at the time around the refinery. We also heard about the likes of Ibeju Lekki and all. Now look back and think about how much these properties were at the time before the refinery was finally completed and all. You discover that, I think at the time then, if I remember correctly, properties were being sold for, you could see a piece of land for as low as 1.5 million or thereabout. But as of today, there's no way you'll be getting such property at that amount. We'll be looking maybe from 30-50 million upwards, and even like maybe 100 million, depends on the size of the plot and the exact location. And also, if you had invested in such property at the time, you would agree with me that by now you'll be cashing out. Obviously your investment would have yielded maximum profit. So I argue that I'll put it in shares and all. Let's even take the instance of the 1993 case. Some people argue that they would have invested the money into maybe company shares or some other form of investment instead of real estate, and they would have gotten more. Why you might want to argue that? Now ask yourself the question: how many of the top 5 companies, or big 5 that we call them at the time, are still operational today, over 30 years down the line? A lot of them are folded up. A lot of them are actually, their stocks are actually not doing well. We've heard of several stories of so many of our parents that invested in stocks and the money, everything crashed and also. But when it comes to real estate, you are sure that the land obviously over time would not crash. The value obviously is going to keep appreciating. There is no form of real estate investment or land banking or land investment that you do that you would say over, if you give it some time, that will not yield profit for you. The question is how much profit. The question is how much profit is going to be giving you. What we are promoting is for you to invest in a property that has the potential to yield maximally. So not a case of, say, you buy something for 10 million today, and 5 years down the line you're selling it 10.5 million or 11 million. Yes, that might be, some might argue that that's profit, but that's not the kind of profit we are talking about. We are talking about significant increase, not 10.5, not 500 after how many years. No. Yes, that's also that's technically not a bad deal, because maybe if you leave the money in the bank, however, you probably might not get that much. But the essence of this video is more or less a wake-up call for us. Now, while we may not have been able to afford the likes of those kind of property, if you drill down and see in our neighborhood, growing up, you might want to argue that growing up you couldn't afford those kind of property, or you couldn't afford anything. Flashback to when you started working in the neighborhood where you were working, or in the neighborhood where you were schooling, where you could at least, where you were earning money. The time you were earning money, there were properties, or there were property investment you could have keyed into. But at the time you looked at it and said, oh, come on now, this place is a bush. I would like put my money in the bush. Who will come and stay in this bush and all? You're forgetting the key thing that every bush today has the potential of becoming a city tomorrow. And the irony is, or the flip side of it is, that every city today was once a bush. So that place you are considering a bush today, ask yourself, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, will that place still remain a bush? The answer is obviously no. It will not be a bush. It would have developed into a city. Now, what would encourage as much as possible, why we encourage you getting properties as much as possible, maybe in place that will turn a bush for now, is be strategic about your selection. Don't just go about because you can afford a property or a piece of land, you just go ahead and buy it. No, you should ask yourself, in this city I want to invest, in this land I want to invest in, what potential does this land have? What's the master plan of this city? Where is development moving towards? Is development going to come towards this my land in the next 5 to 10 years? Or is this something that will not even get development, will not get to the land within 15 to 30, 40 years and the like? So Those are the kind of questions you should be asking yourself, and not just because the fact that because you can afford a piece of land, you just jump into buying it. No, be strategic about your investment. Now, several opportunities are available for you to key into, but like I said, the goal of this video is actually to motivate you to actually start looking at yourself critically and asking yourself if what you want to do, or if where you want to be in the next couple of years, if with your current action you'll be able to achieve it. I can assure you that with real estate, with land banking and the likes, you can actually achieve most of your financial goals in the next couple of years. If you decide to invest in a property today, strategic property today, you can look back 5 to 10 years down the line and say, come, thank God I made this investment. Those that invested in Ibejuleki, those that invested in Dangote refinery, today they're cashing out. Imagine if you had also capitalized on that. You would have that project you're trying to achieve today. You would have been able to completely achieve it today. For those of us in the UK that have kids right now, and we know that yes, currently we're still enjoying free education and all for the primary school and all of the bits, but the reality you should face is the fact that by the time these children now want to get into the university, you have to bring out money, you have to cough out money, except of course you want to go and start banking on student loan, which I personally would not recommend. I don't believe you should be taking student loan after working all the years. There's really no point. It's something you can actually key into real estate investment, acquire a property, leave it, if your child is still young, well, fine and good. However, if your child is ready, maybe you just have 5 years or that, but look for something strategic you can invest in that would actually yield good value for you within the next 5 years. And then when in 5 years time, when it's time for your child to go into university, you can as well just sell off this property and acquire the what you can pay for the tuition for the child. These are some strategic things you can actually do to help you secure your future for tomorrow. I would always say that, or not I would always say, it's well known fact that in real estate you don't wait to acquire, you acquire and wait. So you don't wait until you have the money complete, because that investment or that opportunity you're actually targeting would not sit down and wait for you. Now as development is coming towards it, the value would obviously be increasing. So whatever all you have saved today now would actually not be enough for you to acquire the property tomorrow. What you can actually do, if you don't have all of the funds available, there are various opportunities for you. You can actually capitalize on instrumental payments. What you have might not be able to acquire the property in full. You can use that as a down payment and then spread the balance for a couple of months so that the property becomes yours. That way, when the value of this property increases, you're unaffected by it because you already made a down payment, and because you have made a down payment, you are whatever increase that comes or is associated with the property doesn't affect you. In fact, to you, it now becomes or comes as profits. So my goal for this video is to encourage you to start keying into real estate opportunities in Nigeria. I'm targeting Nigeria. My focus is in Nigeria, for especially those of us in the UK or in Canada, or those of us in diaspora, as we call it. Because you have an advantage. I've done a video already about the advantage we have as diasporans in investing in real estate in Nigeria. I also did a video about land banking in Nigeria. If you've not watched those two videos, please go back and watch those two videos, and then you'll see that you actually the better position to actually start capitalizing on real estate investment in Nigeria, because that small amount you put into that real estate today, tomorrow might just be what will just help to transform your finances. Yes, not all investments yield as much as you would want, but the truth is, for real estate, regardless of the inflation, regardless of what, you are sure that your investment will yield. So I would encourage you today, if you have not started capitalizing on land banking opportunities that are available to you, I would implore you today to start thinking about it. Like I said earlier on, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Bartholomew Nerime, and I'm the real estate consultant for Nigeria and diaspora. Reach out to me and let's discuss so that together we can build sustainable wealth using real estate. Thank you, and I hope this helped you, and do have a lovely day ahead. See you on the next one.